Hey, what's going on, guys? Fantasy Talk Show is back. We're back, baby. Let's go. All right. Before I start, just kind of want to go over a little bit what's going on with me. It's been a long time, but I was going through some personal issues, and I'll just leave it at, if you're watching this video right now, just remember how important your mental health is. Mental health can take the most positive person and bring them down. I generally take myself to be a very positive person, and I've had a tough little bit here, but we're back now, okay? But seriously, mental health is really important. Doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, whoever. Doesn't matter. You take care of yourself. You find someone who can help you. I am always open on DMs on Twitter. Follow me at Fantasy Talk Show. You can shoot me a DM if you're going through a tough time. I've been there. I want help. All right? But let's dig into this NBA slate. Here we are. This is why you clicked on the video. So let's get after it today. I'm excited to be back here. I'm going to be posting daily content on Twitter, on YouTube, depending on schedules and stuff, I'm going to be moving back to New Hampshire coming up here, so I may be a little tied up this weekend. But once I'm back there, obviously schedules will get figured out. I'll probably try to post on Twitter what my content schedule is going to look like for the week. So I'm very excited to get back on track with y'all, and let's get some money together, fellas. I mean, this is why we're here. This is why we're here. We're here to win some money on fantasy. So let's go over tonight's NBA slate. Thursday, March 3rd. All right. So we're starting off with the Bulls at the Hawks. First of all, this line has opened. Bulls favored 1.5. I would slam that 1.5 because Trae Young is a game time decision. So we have no idea if he's playing. John Collins is already ruled out. And the Bulls are a much better team anyway. So this line should be much higher. So if you're a betting person, go ahead and lock in Bulls minus 1.5. I don't care that they're playing away and that their record is actually 15-14 away, which isn't obviously good with home away splits, but this team is just way too good for a banged up Hawks team that's just not nearly as talented. And then we've got my Celtics going on hosting the Grizzlies. Ja Morant is on fire, and the Celtics know it. They have good defenders on the outside. They will be without Jaylen Brown tonight, so that is something important to remember when building your DFS lineups. I think the Celtics will do a lot to focus on trying to stop Ja Morant. I don't know how successful they will be because Ja is just on fire right now. He is a man possessed. It's awesome to watch. It's really made the league, put on notice here. But I know the Celtics game plan will be to stop him, which I will talk about later, a little bit of options I like in that game. Next, we got the Heat going to Brooklyn against the Nets. KD's return. I don't expect KD to be a full go. Obviously, he's coming off the knee injury, and they don't have Kyrie tonight because they're in Brooklyn, and the mayor still refuses to let Kyrie play, basically, because of the vaccination mandate. So the Nets will be shorthanded against the Heat. This is another spread. The Heat are favored by 3, at least last I saw. I would hammer that. This Nets team with a limited Durant and no Kyrie, and obviously James Harden off to Philly. They don't have the talent to hang with this Heat team. Jimmy Butler was a bum last night, and they still hung with Milwaukee all the way through. I expect them to have no problem with the Nets. Next is going to be Pistons against Toronto. This is an interesting game. Raptors are favored by 8.5. I do think that the Raptors will win this game. I don't really have a huge stance on it. I think it's going to be about 8.5. I think that number is pretty accurate. Pistons are 6-26 away, so they do have 9 wins at home, which gives the Raptors a little bit of home advantage here. So I would probably prefer Raptors over Pistons, especially on FanDuel rather than DraftKings. I think DraftKings is a little easier to fit those Pistons players in that don't really have that high of ceilings, aka Cade Cunningham. But yeah, I think Raptors can handle them easily. If you want to include the spread there, I would take Raptors side there. Got a nice one here, Warriors at Dallas. Dallas is obviously Luka Doncic and that's right, Luka Doncic. So Golden State is going to have to stop him. That's pretty much it. Dorian Finney-Smith, Jalen Brunson. Um, these names are not very good, right? Dallas obviously has one of the best, if not the best player in the league right now in Luka Doncic, and he's going to have to carry. I think Golden State, great defensively, will be able to slow down Luka. Obviously, not stop Luka. No one's been able to do that since he's been in the NBA. So I think he will do well tonight. I do think there are better spend-up options on the slate tonight. But just in terms of the spread, I like Golden State here. They travel fine. Not as good, obviously, away. They do have 12 of their 19 losses away, but I just don't think this Mavericks team is talented enough to beat them. Clay is game time questionable right now, but I don't really think that does much to me. I think between Steph and just Wiggins, and I mean, their team is just so much better all around. One game I will be huge for DFS on tonight is going to be the Kings at San Antonio. It's the highest over-under on the slate tonight. Spurs are at home, so that obviously, if you're a home-away person, I guess, that sort of helps the Spurs here. I really like this game, not really from a betting standpoint, but just as a DFS standpoint here. Guys like Sabonis, guys like Podol, guys like DeJuan Murray. Those guys are guys that I'm going to want to get to tonight, and I'll go into a bit more about it once we get there, but this is definitely a game I'm targeting tonight. And then finishing off with the Lakers and the Clippers. Not too big here, honestly. I think both teams are fine. No one really stands out to me unless DJ Augustine for the Lakers makes his debut tonight. I know he's bare minimum on FanDuel. I haven't checked DraftKings yet, but that would, I don't love either of these teams. I think they're too balanced offensively outside of LeBron. LeBron will do what he does normally, but the Lakers are just so bad. It's really hard for even LeBron to carry a team. Him and Luka are very similar right now, except the Mavericks are actually having a little success. So, there's that. But those are the games tonight on the slate. So let's dive in. I am going in order of FanDuel pricing. So if I get to a guy and he's higher on DraftKings, a lot of the talking will be pretty similar, just in terms of my interests and stuff. The only difference is obviously FanDuel defensive stats are a lot more important, so we can kind of differentiate there. But starting at the top, we got Luka, Ja Morant are the top two. Luka, like I said, he's going to have to do a lot for Dallas to win. I certainly think he's worth the price paying up for. I just think there are better options on this slate that you can use your salary towards. Ja Morant, again, like I said, he's good, but I think the Celtics are going to make a game plan around to stop him tonight. Whether that works or not, I can't tell you. I'd have to have my crystal ball here, and obviously that's not part of it. So I think Ja Morant's really hot right now. I think he's capable of beating a game plan of the Celtics, but just for a cash standpoint, I'm definitely going somewhere else. For a GPP, you could sprinkle him in there for sure just because of his upside. But I think I'm getting to other options at the point guard position tonight. Guys like DeJuan Murray. DeJuan Murray's 9.6 on FanDuel. I'm sure he's pretty similar on DK as well. Might be closer to 10. But this game is just going to be a really poorly defensively played game. The over-under is at 238.5. It's by far the most on the slate as of right now. And I just think that a guy like DeJuan Murray is really going to shine tonight. Triple-double upside, obviously. Can put up 20, 10, 10. That's plenty to pay off right there, and that doesn't even include defensive stats on FanDuel. So DeJuan Murray, definitely my favorite play up top tonight. Pair him with De'Aaron Fox, too. Could be a good if you're looking to spend up at both spots. I think De'Aaron Fox is certainly, he's on the other side of it. So now that he doesn't have to deal with Halliburton taking up usage on the offense, Marvin Bagley obviously is gone. So him and Sabonis will kind of be the duo going at it there. Obviously, you'll sprinkle in some Barnes and, you know, but it's De'Aaron Fox and it's Sabonis. Those are the two guys on the Kings that I'm looking at tonight. As we scroll down a bit farther, obviously Van Vliet is a game time decision. Lowry is a game time decision as well. I think Lowry is leaning more towards the doubtful side. He's dealing with a personal issue at the moment. I'm not too excited to get to him anyway. Van Vliet, if he plays, I think he's got upside. I think there are better options to go to, but I do think that he has obviously upside to get there. But you know that game has blowout potential. That game, you know, Toronto can spread it out on offense as well. So I think again there are better options, but Van Vliet could certainly be in your player pool. Cade Cunningham, Russell Westbrook, those are two guys that I think are better on DraftKings than FanDuel. Cade is very very good. You know, I think on FanDuel he's just priced a little high for what he's able to do. Not the most defensive player. Obviously leans on his offense. And, you know, his stats lately have been shooting up. He's done really well. Certainly playing for Rookie of the Year here. I think he's a great option. Toronto is good defensively. They're third against opposing point guards. So, again, I think there's better options. You can go here, sprinkle him in some GPPs, but I certainly think there are better options going forward here. Marcus Smart is an interesting one tonight, especially on FanDuel. Obviously, Jaylen Brown being out, a lot of people are going to go to Jason Tatum tonight because it's going to be a decently high-paced game because Ja Morant. I mean, that's basically why. And Marcus Smart, he's a guy that can hit threes. He's a guy that can dish up assists, and he's not too bad on the boards either. But we know that this man can play defense. And on FanDuel, if you can play defense, you are always a thought. Now, he is priced up kind of a little high from what I think he should be at. He's at 6-1 on FanDuel. I think he's much better play on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings, but I certainly don't mind getting to him on either site. FanDuel, definitely, if you're looking for a mid-range guy, I like him a lot. Spencer Dinwiddie, he is kind of stepped up a little bit here for Dallas. He's at 5-8 on FanDuel. I think that's a little high. I mean, unless they throw him in the starting lineup today for some reason. But he's been their sixth man off the bench. He's done well. He's gotten assists. He's gotten points. He's kind of done his job. He's been fine. But against Golden State, they're good defensively. I think there are better options here in the mid-range. Like the next guy I'm going to get to here is Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent is a great option if Lowry's out again. He shined last game, took over for Jimmy Butler, who I don't know what happened to him really yesterday, but Gabe Vincent stepped up and he played well. Obviously, Jimmy Butler's not going to go out there and do the same thing again. So I think, you know, obviously limit your expectations, but the guy's priced at 4.9 on FanDuel. I assume he's probably right around the same on DraftKings. I certainly don't mind taking a swing there against a terrible Brooklyn team who's not going to play great defense. They have Patty Mills probably on the outside, and I mean, they're getting real thin up there because they don't have Kyrie today. So it's going to be probably Cam Thomas and Patty Mills if I'm guessing correctly. Going down a little more here, if Klay Thompson's out, Jordan Poole becomes an option, probably better on DraftKings than on FanDuel, just because he's more scoring dependent. Keep scrolling. Peyton Pritchard is certainly an option here off the bench for the Celtics with Jaylen Brown out tonight. It'll be interesting to see if he actually gets a start. I'm guessing not. I'm guessing they're probably going to keep him as a sixth man off the bench, but he'll get minutes. He'll get more minutes than he has been, and he's obviously been known for his effort. You know, coaches have been talking about how much effort he puts in. His teammates have as well, and that's an awesome thing to have on FanDuel because he has the upside to get 3-4 steals in a game. Which that alone, you know, makes him having a decent night at 4K. So like him a lot there. Davion Mitchell, another guy who's in that up-tempo game. He's a good value. You know, it all depends on, you know, Sacramento's still trying to figure out their rotation because they made so many moves. I think they really need to prioritize playing Mitchell, whether it's alongside De'Aaron Fox or just as a six man off the bench. And I think they really need to feature this guy. He's played well. He has upside for 20, 25 points on FanDuel for sure. Maybe even 30 on a good shooting night. I think him and Peyton Pritchard are probably your best point guard values outside of. I did talk a little bit about DJ Augustine. Not too hyped about it because I don't assume he's going to get more than 10, 15 minutes. But he is priced at bare minimum. He's obviously been in the league for a long time. So if you're really trying to get a dart throw there, dirt cheap, you can go to Mr. Augustine. Going to shooting guards now. DeRozan. DeRozan should be pretty good. It's interesting to see how he goes after snapping the 35 point plus streak. He's priced at 10-2 on FanDuel. I think that's pretty fair. Levine and Vooch are still banged up a little bit, so DeRozan's kind of the guy still. I don't think Atlanta has good enough defense to really stop him, so I certainly would not mind taking a stab with DeRozan tonight. Jimmy B, if you want to go back to the well, go for it. I think he's a better DraftKings play than FanDuel play, just because of his price. But Jimmy B certainly as an option there. Like I said, Levine still kind of banged up. If you want to take a chance on him in a GPP, getting hot, go for it. Not my favorite play though. Bogdanovich, Gary Trent, not much there. Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is interesting, right? Because if Lowry's out again, obviously he's going to be the guy off the bench. Jimmy struggled last game, so Hero went out there and said, all right, I'll put the team on my back, and he put up 30 points and 7 rebounds. He played fantastic. They still came up short, but great effort there from Hero. Much better DraftKings play than FanDuel play because defense doesn't really rack up that many points. So with him being priced up a little bit on FanDuel, I would take him on DraftKings. As you keep going, Jalen Brunson probably is going to have a decent amount of opportunities today because Golden State will be focused on stopping Luka Doncic. And this should open up Jalen Brunson for playmaking. This should open up Jalen Brunson for lanes to the hoop and even some outside shots. I think Jalen Brunson is probably, he has the most upside of this mid-range here. Him and Tyler Hero both. I think those two are the guys that you're going to want to go to in this mid-range. As we keep going here, not too much until we get to Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane is going to either have a great night or just not appear because Ja Morant has been running the show in Memphis. And like I said, the Celtics will do everything they can to try to stop Ja Morant. That will open up looks for Desmond Bane. Marcus Smart will be playing on Ja Morant. And then we'll see how the Celtics want to handle Desmond Bane. But I think they're going to be doing a lot of attention onto Ja Morant, which will open up the three-point shots for Desmond Bane. I think he's going to have a lot of 3 attempts tonight. If you see any over props on his 3-pointers, I haven't seen any yet, but I would take up to over 2.5, maybe even over 3.5. I certainly think he's going to get the looks tonight, and Josh should get a good amount of assists with the Celtics paying so much attention to him. As we keep scrolling here, Malik Monk, he's an option if he starts. Don't love him if he doesn't. As we keep going here, it's just slim pickings down here. I don't really like the shooting guard position that much here. Just a lot of you're hoping for a huge game, and I just don't see it from any of these guys as I'm still scrolling. I wouldn't go any lower. I wouldn't go any lower there than that. Those guys aren't really great down there. I think there are places where you can get value tonight, and shooting guard is not one of them. Small forward, we talked a little bit about KD coming back. Not playing him tonight. There's too many question marks there. Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum will be the guy tonight for Boston. There's no Jaylen Brown. And Al Horford obviously is not taking up a big scoring role on this team. Marcus Smart is going to have to step up tonight. I really like his points. I saw his points prop at 11.5 earlier. I would slam on that. It's probably moved by now, but Marcus Smart should have at least 15 plus today if the Celtics want any shot to beat Ja Morant. But Jason Tatum's going to have to be the guy today. If he's not, then the Celtics are going to get blown out because Ja Morant is just on such fire. So I like Tatum a lot on both FanDuel and DraftKings. I know he will be chalky. I'm okay with that. He's a great player. He's going to be the guy, and it's his birthday narrative today. So happy birthday to him, fellow Celtic fan here. But yeah, I think he's going to have a very big part of the game plan tonight with no Jaylen Brown. Scotty Barnes, meh, he's okay. Probably better on FanDuel than on DraftKings just because of the defense. Keldon Johnson is a very interesting option here. He stepped up pretty good here for the Spurs. Certainly an option that I would take a look at when building a lineup if you want to focus on this Sacramento game, Sacramento and Spurs game, like I've been talking about. I think it's a great game to target, and Keldon Johnson could be one of those guys that pops off for 40. He's done it. He's done it in past at least 6 games. He's done it twice, so I like him a lot. Going down a little bit, Gallinari should get some good run tonight, knowing that John Collins is out, and Okongwu is also out, so he'll have to play a lot of the 4 tonight. I expect him to start at the 3 or 4. Yeah, he'll probably start at the 4 and rotate, at the 3 as well. Get some perimeter shots, get some rebounds. He'll do his job, but better DraftKings play than a FanDuel play, for sure. Also just saw Van Vliet expected to play tonight, and there's no OG Anunoby. So that does kind of open up the offense a little more for a guy like Scotty Barnes or Pascal Siakam or Fred Van Vliet. So I don't mind the Raptors plays now. Again, I think there's better ones, but probably favorite would be Siakam there, just because I don't think the Pistons can do too much. I think the best value on the slate tonight, and he actually technically is a shooting guard as well, but small forward, Caleb Martin, if there's no Kyle Lowry tonight. If there's no Kyle Lowry tonight, Caleb Martin should get good run. He's 3,600 on FanDuel. I assume he's pretty low on DraftKings as well. Again, I don't have the DraftKings price in front of me, but he's a guy that can play great defense. He is a guy that can grab boards. He can score a few points, and that's all you really need from a guy down here. He scored 29 FanDuel points last game against the Bucks, so I think he's a great option down here. He's probably my favorite one down in this area, and I think he's got good upside to really make a difference tonight. As we keep going here, I don't think there's anyone else at the small forward position. There is not, unless you want to take a flyer on Kevin Knox, knowing that Okongwu and John Collins are down. Power forward, Bam and Sabonis. I like both those guys. I think they're good spend-up options. I talked a little bit about Siakam as well. I think these guys are all pretty solid. Sabonis is probably a lock for me tonight. Even though Jakob Poeltl is pretty good defensively, Sabonis and Fox are the 2 guys on Sacramento that are going to do stuff. And with the high game total, I'm firing both of those guys up. Especially Sabonis more than Fox, but I will be playing some Fox as well. And then Adebayo just in a great matchup against Brooklyn, who, again, like I said, not going to be much defense there for them. Jaren Jackson is a decent option. Again, I think the Celtics are going to plan around beating Ja Morant, not beating the Memphis Grizzlies. That should open up looks for Desmond Bane. That should open up looks for Jaren Jackson. But I like Bane a lot more than Jackson in this scenario because I think Bane has more upside. Al Horford, he's just priced too high for me on FanDuel. I don't know what his DK price is, but even with Jaylen Brown out, not a huge fan there. LaMarcus Aldridge at 5'7", he's probably going to have to be the guy to grab rebounds today. I think he can rack up a good amount of them. Obviously, we know he has upside. So I think he'll be the second scoring option on offense, as well as the guy who grabs the boards. So could easily see a 15-9 game from him, and that would be enough at 5'7" for me to be happy. So I certainly like Aldridge there. As we keep going, there's not too much down here. Maxi Kleber is a game time decision tonight. He's questionable due to right ankle soreness. That could really change things for the Dallas front court, so definitely watch that news. Grant Williams is down here as well. He's fine. Just really haven't seen a lot of upside from him, and he's priced up a little bit. He's priced at 4.9 on FanDuel. I would hope he's like 4-5 on DraftKings. Plays good, but he's just not that involved in the offense. If he's hitting his shots that day, he might, end up getting 5x on you. But I don't think he's someone I'm too scared to fade tonight. So we keep going. Kevon Looney, he had a decent game against Dallas last time out. I think Dallas is going to try to play small tonight, and I think that's going to limit Looney's minutes. So I'm probably staying away from Looney. As we keep going here, Marvin Bagley is doubtful, which stinks because I really wanted to fire him up. If you've been on Twitter today, you've seen Tristan Thompson, and his ability to hit shots from like 2 feet was pretty abysmal. He missed, I think, about 10 straight 5-foot hook shots. So I don't know if that's just like a trick or if he's actually that bad with his touch right now. But I will stay off of him for that reason. If you haven't checked it out yet, search it up on Twitter. It's pretty hilarious. And as we get toward the bottom, really not much here at the power forward position. There's really not much here. So I'm going to go to center now, and we'll wrap this video up. I know it's been a bit long, and once I get settled and I can actually set up a setup here, I'll have a screen share as well so you guys can kind of follow along with me instead of me having to read it off here, because I know that can get boring. But if you have any video ideas, please drop them down in the comments. Hit a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I will be posting a lot of content coming up here. I'm very excited to get back into it. And again, like I said, follow me on Twitter at Fantasy Talk Show, and I would be happy to talk with you in DMs, talk with you about whatever it is. Like I said, mental health as well is a huge thing. So without further ado, let's dig into centers. Vooch is actually all clear now. There is no designation for him on the injury report going against an undermanned Atlanta front court. I think he certainly has upside to pop off tonight. Don't absolutely love him, but I think he's very good and a very good option if you have the salary to spend up there. Podol, better on FanDuel than DraftKings. Just defensively, he's a lot better for a better fit for FanDuel. Robert Williams is the same thing. Both those guys are just very good defensively. They can rack up blocks and steals. Ivica Zubac, I don't know what to do with him. He has popped off the last 2 games, but I just feel like he's kind of hit his ceiling. Going against the Lakers tonight, again, I think the Lakers are going to try to run small, which, again, could impact his minutes, but it could also help him dominate in the beginning part, and then they just want to keep running him. It's honestly going to be a game flow thing with me. I think there are better options, but he has popped off and he's been hot, so I certainly can't tell you not to play him. Andre Drummond is a game time decision. It seems like he is leaning toward the probable side, so if he plays, him versus Bam would be interesting, and that would kind of take LaMarcus Aldridge out of play for me. So I guess I would lean Drummond over Aldridge. But if Drummond for some reason is ruled out, Aldridge is definitely the play. Clint Capella, I don't know what happened to this man. He had such good seasons prior, but this season, I don't know what it is. The man just can't do much. He's priced at 6'4", and I'm not even that excited to get to him. He's going against Vooch, it's not a great matchup, but for Clint Capella being the only guy in the front court tonight, I would generally love to fire him up. I'm just not that excited for him. I think there's a big potential that Chicago could blow out Atlanta, especially if Trae Young doesn't play. If Trae Young doesn't play, I really don't know why the spread's still 1.5, with him being a game time decision even. So I will go ahead and say Clint Capella is not going to be my guy tonight, and now watch him go out and drop 45. All right, we're getting to the pretty end here. Dieng might pick up some minutes now that Okongwu's ruled out. PJ Tucker's down here, better FanDuel play, obviously, than DraftKings due to the defense. Not that excited about him, but that pretty much wraps it up. The only thing I will say is Boban is down here. So if for some reason the Dallas front court gets beat up, Boban could be the night. No. But anyway, that is where I am at today. So good luck to us all tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Follow me on Twitter. I will be posting my favorite plays of the night, which I've kind of highlighted here, which is going to be DeJuan Murray, which is going to be Domantas Sabonis, and it's going to be De'Aaron Fox. Those are probably my 3 favorites. And then if you want to mix a value in there, Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin is the value guy that I am really liking tonight. So let's get after it, fellas. Let's go win some money. And I'm excited, man. I'm so excited to be back and show some love on the video, guys. I really want to get back into this. I want to help as many people as I can with this. And I'm so excited. Let's get it. Let's win some money.